Yeah, I gotta catch my breath. I found a reason to need to make a video. If you are empathic, I've come across somebody I listen to often, used to listen to often, and started listening to her recently again. This video, I'm gonna link it. If you're empathic, you need to listen to it. You need to listen to it. Her channel's name is Bernadette Gold. Bernadette's Gold. I don't know if there's an S on the end of that or not. It is Bernadette Gold. And I'm going to link her YouTube page and this talk on empaths, especially now. And I find what she's saying incredible. Quite a bit of it, I think, would touch a lot of the Mandela affected people. So that's the reason for this video, really, because I really think it would really help a lot of people. The rest of the stuff you're going to see is just stuff I've been filming, thinking, what am I going to do with this? Because, I'm kind of into other things right now.
Today's the 9th. Absolutely gorgeous day.
Honestly, I think it'd be best if I just stay away from people. I'm picking stuff up immediately. Stuff, I can't get specific. And I just go right into attitude. Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. It's like the conversation's coming at me and I'm getting it and I'm absorbing the conversation, but the guy, the girl, the guy, whatever, hasn't spoken a word yet. I've gotten the whole thing. And I'm already in attitude mode. And, like I said, whether good or bad, but shouldn't I just let it be? Let it, just doesn't have to affect me. And I'm thinking, because I feel great. I just had Eric say to me, hey, you going to Hot Springs today? Like he wants me to. Like, dude, calm down. It's just common sense stuff's not being done. It needs to be done. And because physically I feel great. Mentally I'm clear. I'm clear. And I don't have a problem with speaking my mind. People get upset by that. Even looking at the news to see what everybody else is doing and what's going on is bringing that into your reality. Okay? You're hurting yourself by just checking it out. That simple.
Just had a very bizarre thing happen. Wow. I'm waiting to get into a line of traffic, and I just happened to notice this big white truck. Specific, it was a maintenance truck or something. It was a big white one. And it stopped short to make a left. And I'm looking both ways. I keep going, looking both ways. Well, I see this thing. I'm not zeroed in on it. It's a truck. It's not a big deal. It's just obvious that it was different from everything else that was out there on the road. And when I went this way, as I'm coming back, the truck's in front of me, going to where I saw it to make that left-hand turn again. And I thought, oh, okay, it's two trucks. I just immediately believed that it's two trucks. That's what I decided. And as I went by the parking lot, there was only one white truck that looked like that. I said, oh, I just figured it was two of them. I don't know. Swore I wasn't going to do this anymore, but I have to. I'm going to ask you some questions. Oh, look at you guys. You're ready? You're ready for the picture?
What's happening? What are you asking?
It's a video.
Oh.
You'll be ready for
Hey
the
guys, hey.
all right.
Here.
Oh, good. We got them all here. I'm just going to spring it on these guys. I'm kind of springing.
We actually have friends. You don't see them.
You don't have boyfriends. You lie.
He didn't think we had boyfriends.
You don't have boyfriends.
No. You ran in these girls? The flavor of the month.
What color is a yield sign?
It is red.
Ah, you hurt me. That's not what you were going to say.
Oh, is he going to say?
What color is a yield
No,
sign?
but it's red because it wants to make you stop. The first thing of a yield sign is to make you stop, but you have to look down.
Do you know how?
have to.
Now you're kind of young, so you weren't around for this. But do you remember how many people were in the car when JFK was assassinated?
I actually don't know the history. I'm about to read
Who
about
said
it.
4? 4?
Me. I said 4.
4?
Six.
There's driver, secret security, wife, and him.
We're all from Michigan.
All right, Ford. You remember the Ford symbol? Yeah, that changed 5 times for me, but it's always been this way, so I don't know how to explain that. There are actually 6 people in the car. Yield
Hey,
signs
you
are
can have
red.
whatever color you want as long as it's black.
Okay.
That's a Model T. That's a Henry Ford.
This is why I don't do interviews anymore. Hey, does Curious George have a tail?
Kevin.
He does not.
He does not.
Trick question.
You were going to say, yeah. Does Mickey Mouse have a tail?
No.
No.
Big ears, though.
Big ears.
Who has bigger ears?
Mickey Mouse
or Dumbo?
Mickey Mouse has a tail in this timeline.
Yeah, but that's social media.
has one now?
No one else.
See where they're going? No, it's okay because it's one of my arguments, so I'm going to go with that. I've seen things change before my eyes without doing any drugs or acid. So, you ever hear of the Mandela effect?
Here, LJ Scott, 2 yards.
That's what this is.
What?
$1 million effect?
$1 million effect. No, it's the Mandela effect, but it's going to be changed. But it is called the $1 million effect in another timeline.
What's that mean?
The Mandela effect. Do you remember the Berenstein Bears?
Yeah.
Do you know how to spell it?
Yeah.
You sure?
RENSTEIN.
In this timeline, it's always been AIN.
The Berenstein Bears always try to clean the room, but they just stuffed everything in the closet.
He didn't
When
hear
the
me.
parents opened up the closet, done.
He didn't even hear me. It's
No, I have
always.
40% hearing loss, so what?
Oh, that's right. It's always been STAIN. And if you have old books at home, it'll be AIN.
Nah, you might be right. You're probably right. I'll trust you on
Oh,
that.
weird, LJ
That was a trick
Oh.
question again. You're full of trick questions.
I've seen 1,000 changes in history that don't make
You're gonna pull magic
sense.
cards out your sleeves. I mean, come on.
Hey, you guys are fun. I'll give you that. I'll let you watch your game. What's the score? This is Spectator
0-0.
Sports.
0-0. Nothing's happening.
Feels like Christmas. It's cold, and it's like August 31st. And you guys are sitting in 90-degree weather right here. Somebody is.
Interesting feeling I'm having. Back in, let's see, I guess the 90s, I quit smoking chemical cigarettes, Marlboro Lights, I think. And I went to American Spirit Gold. No, not true. No, back then it was American Spirit Blue. They only had blue and yellow, from what I understand. I think so. I think that's what it was. Anyway, when I went from the Marlboro Lights to these organic cigarettes, I could feel the poison coming out of my body. While I moved over. Now, so I kept thinking, look, if I'm smoking a cigarette, I'm smoking a cigarette. So I just kept smoking them. As much as I wanted a Marlboro, I would continue going towards the American Spirits, and eventually it worked. It took a couple weeks. But that feeling I've had today, all day, the poison's coming out of my body, like there's some kind of poison in my body, and I don't know. It's like it's all over. It's all in my skin, and it's lighter now than it was earlier. And I'm just gonna, go ahead and sweat and steam and whatever, and get it out. But I just found it strange. I think it could be. I'm also getting more muscle pulls, more muscle. I'm having a muscle spasm right here, which has never happened before. I'm getting them in my arms and my hands. Alright, y'all. I'm going to give it a shot. Against my better judgment, to tell you the truth.
And then spring Corpus Christi.
I'll take a sec. Alright. Hi, what's your name?
Pam.
Pam, what's your name?
Jeff.
Jeff and Pam. So I'm going to ask you guys a couple silly questions. Do you know what color a yield sign is?
Yellow.
Do you know how many people? You guys are from Dallas?
No.
Oklahoma. You know how many people were in the car when JFK was assassinated?
4.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Does Curious George have a tail?
Does he have what?
A tail?
Yes.
Does Mickey Mouse have a tail? Okay. Mickey Mouse does. Curious George does not. Never had. Yield signs have always been red.
What?
No. Just don't.
Yield signs have always been red. Very strange thing because everybody remembers yellow.
Yes.
And this is the part you need to hear. In this timeline, your consciousness shifted into a timeline where, yes, there are 6 people in the car when JFK was shot.
It was 1960.
I studied it. There was 4 when I studied it. Now there's 6.
Is that the 2 who's running along the side?
No, don't look it up.
No, they jumped on the back of the
What can I get you?
Just PBR and a Coors Light.
So while I was in the hot springs, I was just chilling, and these 3 girls had this conversation that just kept drawing me into it. And I kept saying, no, don't do it. And I went over there. I mean, they were using words that, I'm familiar with. The shift, time, and, it's just like, all right. So I come over, and I just started blurting nothing about Mandela effects. Just about how there's a shift going on now. And, the one girl's like, yeah, I totally agree. There's definitely a shift in consciousness going on. I can feel it too. She's like, it's been happening for me for a couple of days now. I'm like, yeah, it sounds about right. I'm way high up in the mountains, and I can't keep a phone call going. I keep going through these canyons. I said it before. I'm closer to the satellites, and there's still cell towers here. So and the mountains are. I don't know. Today's the 9th. Absolutely gorgeous day.
On video. What color's the yield sign? Yellow. How many people were in the car when JFK was assassinated?
3, 4.
Now, here's about my book. I was just 3 or 4. Well, I studied it. There was 4, but you're not wrong. Because in this timeline, there's 6, and there's always been 6. How's that possible, right? That's what I was talking about. Changes in history that I've noticed, and others have that I talk with online and stuff. And that's what my book's about. I mean, that's the one that blew my head up, but other ones affected me before that. Like I've eaten Jiffy peanut butter my whole life, but it never existed. So, but that's that. Anything? No? I don't know. I interview people. But this is going to get copyright striked anyway with the music. It don't matter.
So after all that, now, if you want to know why I like to do payroll by myself and alone and all the paperwork, that's probably half of it right there. I need to be zeroed in on what I'm doing. I can't be having people walk around me, and I didn't know that before. I just always thought I just really enjoy being down here at 5 in the morning by myself with my coffee and my cigarette doing payroll. It's because it's quiet, nobody's around. If I was concentrating on the numbers, I could have a whole restaurant around me. If I was stayed zeroed in. But who can with all that going around? You know. But that's definitely one of the reasons why I like doing that. It's quicker too when I do it by myself and nobody's around.
Then in 2016, the earth shifted beneath our feet. The rebellion started.
So I've had a very busy day, and it's only 9:30 in the morning. This is what happens. This is what I do. This is my job. So I can't always, I'm always, I'm always around here. And when I get my days off, I take off. My days off are my days off. And I feel kind of bad because I've gotten quite a few emails, and a couple of calls, and some messages on YouTube where people are asking me advice and stuff, and I do try every time. I try and spend some time and say what needs to be said or how I feel about it if I can, but it's still always going to be up to that person to do it on their own. And I want to apologize because I can't get to everybody. Some of the stuff I don't even have an answer for. I'm dealing with my own shit, and I'm right now I'm fluctuating the highs and the lows, and it's weird. In the morning, I kind of know right away, and I got to shift my thinking into another direction, get out of my head. And things have been smoothing out because it's been on and up. And this morning I woke up and I felt that, and then I said no. But I kept going on and on in here anyway. And it just wasn't working. So I stopped. I stopped, took a deep breath, breathe. What should I do? I'm getting meditate. You gotta meditate this out. You gotta soak through this, figure it out. And I got the same message out of other places as well. So all I did was breathe. And I'm like, I was like, I did it because I just to do it. Because I was getting all upset about things going on at the bar and whatnot. And they're not bad things. It's just things that I want to keep straight, Once I breathed, took it easy, got out of my head, things panned out fine. So anyway, I'm going through my own changes now too. I'm sure other people are as well. Excuse me. So it's hard for me to get back to people and give advice after going through all their story, because right now what I'm going through is my my empathic abilities are stronger, and I didn't know it. I mean, I didn't know this is what was happening to me. This was a couple months ago. It's stronger. I mean, I guess I kind of knew, just didn't know how to deal with it. I think I explained it in the last video, and now I'm kind of looking at things like that. Right in the beginning of this video, I'm sure I mentioned about Bernadette Gold. She does a video on empaths and how to block, and she comes up with the symptoms and everything, and I'm like, wow, that's great. And just that little bit helped me. Although I would like to get into her course that she has, but that's, you know, like I said, the video just helps. Although she did say she's probably not taking on more people for this latest one. But that's a great video to listen to if you get a chance to listen to that. Because I'm learning now how to, like I said it before, it's like I got the whole conversation, not the specifics, just I already know something about it, and I don't know what. You know, it's like I can't pinpoint it. And I just, you know, when that starts happening, now I just sit back and listen, and I'm like, oh, I'm not getting the answer. I don't know what to do. And then it's fine. It hits me, and it's fine and smooth. It's almost like this is going to work out on its own. Almost like that. Why did I put this out? Oh, because I'm getting emails and people requesting books. I got to keep up on that. And like I said, I work in the morning, I work in the afternoon, and I work at night. You know, so you know when I get my time, I got to take it. Especially now. I mean, if there's anything specific I can help somebody with, I'd be happy to give it a shot. But if I can't get to you, I apologize. Everybody's going through some stuff right now. And you need to stay within yourself. Realize it's not real. I mean, if you're not to the point where you can, you know, just block it. Because that's all I did my whole life. When I was empathic, it wasn't that strong, but what it was for the times, the 80s, 90s, whatever, and I was reading books on how to block it. I would put a rose in front of me, or and let it absorb, or I'd wear a crystal or something. I mean, that's how I dealt with it then. And now it's a little more than blocking. You know, I can't just block. And what Bernadette talks about is, you know, how to know when they're your thoughts and when they're somebody else's thoughts, how to block, how to not be a yes person all the time, because that's what'll happen. People who are craving the energy we have will be attracted to us. Also, people that have the energy we have will also be attracted to us. So you have to decipher your thoughts. You have to figure out what are your thoughts and what's the person next to you. I got a great example, and I don't like using examples from work, but I was sitting there doing payroll. I love doing the numbers, man. That's my thing, you know. I'm just all of a sudden I got thoughts coming in my head that wrong. There's no way I would be thinking these things. Okay, negative things. And the guy around me, you know, all of a sudden he starts blurting stuff out. And I'm like, oh, God, it's the exact same things I'm thinking to a T. And I'm thinking, I knew that couldn't have been. And I just started to kind of laugh, you know, and I'm like, okay. And then I, you know, realized my feelings changed on the whole situation. The thoughts weren't there as much. Of course, he's speaking it out loud now. And I realized, wow, that's not me. And it helped knowing that. But while it was going on, I didn't think that. Of course, I just assumed that nothing else is in my head. Nobody's in my head but me. You know, how many times have I said that? Nobody knows what I'm thinking but me. But I think that's important, especially now. It's going to come to a point where nobody's going to be able to lie to you. Nobody's even going to be able to tell a little white lie. You're going to know something's up. You might not know the specifics, but you're going to know something's up. Let me see what I'm talking about. Let me see. Okay, today's September 10th. Tomorrow, this energy wave is supposed to be coming in. I used to call it the photon belt back in the 80s. Vladimir Valerian, I'm sure, brought that stuff up. I'll bet he's one of the people that I listened to that talked about that. The Palladians, I think, they called it a photon belt. Whether, you know, what their agenda was, who knows. But I think that's what this can be termed as. If nothing else, everybody's reporting energy waves coming in from the 11th, I think, to the 27th. I'll have to check that. The last few days, it's been up and down, but it's never gotten to a really bad point for me, but I see what's going on around me. I can see that other people are dealing with stuff I dealt with, and I can see people are dealing with things that I'm dealing with things later on, and it's all over. Hey, it's infinite, it's quantum, if it is, because that whole, you know, I've been having these thoughts about how physical reality, the molecular structure of physical reality may actually be changing. This may be the only timeline. It's all here. Everything is right here. If there are, I mean, I do tend to lean towards that, that there's different timelines. It makes so much sense. But none of this really makes sense. So do I want it to make sense? And I know I mentioned, you know, the negative things are here to help us grow. So, but I don't know, with these waves coming in, I have no idea what to expect. All I know is I see a nice clear day for me. It's a nice clear head. Everything's good. But I can tell the difference now, you know, when it's just heavy, it's a weight, it's cloudy. So, I don't know. So this photon wave, this wave coming in, I mean, if it's a wave, parts of it are probably already here. And if that's what this good feeling is that I'm feeling, then let's bring it.
So this is an interesting clip I have here. This is straight through the canyon, where all the walls have the watermarks. I mean, some of those things are straight bricks. Beautiful ride, nonetheless. But I often want to get up there and just climb. I often wonder if there's something inside. What's inside there? We're stopped from going in those places. They're restricted. I mean, you can't get there. There's fences up. I'm assuming they're restricted, so I guess I shouldn't say that. But it does seem a bit strange. I mean, I stopped and took some photos of those. They just look straight bricks to me. You know, but I don't get the whole water thing and everything completely. I mean, I understand what they taught me.